All right, good morning. Today we're looking at a ship that I've been working on. This is an attempt to refine my over 9,000 cargo ship that had over 100 mobility. That ship had 9,050 cargo and had 100 mobility, but it looked kind of chunky. It wasn't aesthetically pleasing, so this is my attempt to try to clean the design up and make it more aesthetically pleasing. This ship has 9,015 cargo, so it's a slight loss, just a little bit of loss of cargo, but it's still over 9,000, and it still has 100 mobility. So I'll get in there. I'll show you what the compromises I had to make in order to make this work, and take you for a tour inside, and we'll take it for some combat trials over Serpentis. All right, one sec. All right, we're down here in a shipbuilder. As you can see, I'm calling this the Hercules. It's a lot better looking than the previous version of the ship. The other one was real blocky looking. It had stuff sticking out the front. This cockpit was mounted up higher. It just made it really ungainly looking. So this one is a bit more streamlined, a little more aerodynamic looking. As you can see, the cargo with my payload skill is 14,198, and that's still holding up with 100 mobility. So base cargo is 9,015, holds 10 crew members, 30 light year jump range, and 130 top speed. The mass is 4,275, which is the maximum this design will allow before the mobility drops to 99, which we didn't want. The whole point of this exercise was how high can I get the cargo and still keep 100 mobility. Some of the compromises I had to make was the shields is a Class B shield, even though this is a Class C ship. So I used the Vanguard Bulwark shield generator because this shield generator is a lot lighter than the Class C version, and it's only 150 health less than the most powerful Class C shield generator. So it's a necessary compromise due to the weight savings. Also, as far as weapons, I was forced to use weapons that are only 1 ton of mass each. So they're all particle beam weapons, but they're the weakest of the particle beam weapons. But even still, I played around with this in combat a little bit, and it works just fine. Other than that, there's not too much. The cargo, there's only 3 2x1 halves to play with. It's not a large ship. It's only topping out at just over half the maximum allowable length. I couldn't make it any longer because you have to add structural pieces to make it longer, and I just couldn't figure out a way to extend it out just a little bit, but keep the cargo over 9,000. It just kept coming up a little bit short no matter what I tried. So this is as long as I can make the ship and still keep it over 9,000. Anyways, let me take this thing apart and we'll put it back together and show you what it's made out of. We're down here in a shipbuilder. I've got this mostly disassembled. The base of the ship, or deck 1, is going to be 6 of these NG-20 landing gears in their wide configuration. In the middle, holding it all together, will be a Stroud living quarters, 2x1. And the landing bay is going to be a shipbed 200 from Tayo. Directly on top of the shipbed 200 landing bay is going to be a Stroud control station, 2x1. And on top of that control station will be another Stroud control station 2x1. On the front of the ship, we're going to connect a Cabot C4 bridge, just like that, just above the ship bed. We can't hook up, oh yeah we can, because they hook up right there. These, we're going to use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we got 8 of these Galleon S202 cargo holds. And they're going to hook up just like this with the slopes facing inwards because we need the attach point facing outwards. So we're going to have those little slopes facing in. So that's 4, and then the other 4 on this side. Slopes facing inwards. And then on the backs here, we're going to use a DC 402 fuser reactor and an Apollo GV200 grav drive. In this little cavity at the bottom, we're going to put that Vanguard Bulwark Shield Generator right there. For our fuel tanks, we're using 2 Titan 550 HE3 tanks. They're going to connect the attach points are going to be both facing outwards. The engines, of course, are going to be these SAL 6830 from Slayton Aerospace. You get these from doing the Stroud quest, all that money can buy. You're going to need all, since these are 2 power, you can have 6 of them. We're just going to connect all 6 of them. Well, we can't connect that one just yet. We'll do this one here in a minute. So that's deck 1, deck 2, deck 3, and now we're going to do the last deck, which really doesn't have any hab space. It's all just trim pieces here. This was the real trick, was to figure out how to make this. The top was the hardest piece to get to make look, aesthetically pleasing, because before I just had a big hab up here and it was like this big block looking shape, and it didn't look very good, and I think this looks a lot better. Now we can hook up, because we have an attach point now, we can hook up our 6th SAL 6830 engine. So now we can hook up, we have 4 of these Deimos Wing A's. So the first one facing forward, second one facing aft. Same thing on the other side. So 4 Deimos Wing A's, 2 on each side. 10, 20, 20. Okay, so for the cargo, we've got 2 DeGamma 1020s on this side, and a DeGamma 1000 and a 110 on the other side. In these little sections up here, we're going to hook up a Horizon weapons mount on either side, and that's the ship. As far as weapons, I'll just go with a flight check. We're using PBO 30 auto electron beams. I think, let me make sure. So we're using 3 of the PBO 40 auto electron beams, 4 of the PB 30 electron beams, and 4 of the PBO 30 auto electron beams. So it's PBO 30 auto electron beams, PBO 40 auto electron beams, and the PB 30 electron beams. As I said, these are the weakest of the particle beam weapons, but even still, they're more than enough to shred through the enemies. So, like I said, the main goal here was to get over 9,000 cargo, which I've accomplished, and the mobility stayed at 100, and I'm at the maximum weight. So you can see most of the ship internally is just nothing but cargo. Alright, we'll take you for a quick tour inside. This is kind of a variant of my Big Booty Judy ship, because of the size of these engines. They're just huge. They're like a third of the mass of the ship. Oh, I forgot to mention we use a slim docker on the bottom that's flipped upside down, so you can attach it to the bottom of the ship. Coming inside, you come into the all-in-one berth. It's got a bunk if you need to get your experience. And the ladder.
Your ship is way bigger than Dad's.
The ladder goes all the way to the top. It's one ladder. So this is deck 2. You have the Cavett bridge with the stairs if you want to go up to deck 3. deck 3.
Man, the galaxy's too big to be stuck in the same place.
Get into orbit, take a look at some of the stats.
All thrusters firing.
Maneuvering into position. And we are now in stable orbit.
Alright, if we look at our stats, you see our cargo with Samco and the payload's skill is 15,618. And that's not quite a record for me, but it's right at the limit. I got it just a few kilograms higher. It's not much higher, so I've never been able to get 16,000. Maybe if I deleted, I could delete all the trim pieces off the top. The ship would look stupid though, and add maybe one more add a little bit more cargo to the sides here. But I'm not going to do that because, like I said, the whole point of this exercise was to make the ship more aesthetically pleasing, and this is what I come up with. Shields, if I had the maximum shields, would be at around 2,800, I think, or 2,600, something like that. And like I said, it's a necessary compromise to get that cargo up over 9,000, base cargo. As far as crew members, I've got Andrasia, Barrett, Samco, and Sarah Morgan on board.